Purchases and Plans, April 9th, 2021. Well, the meagre payday money and laughable bonus didn't last very long, nor did the Eurostar refund. The iPad now has an Apple Pencil, the blue Ted Baker notebook now has another fountain pen to be used upon its pages, and that fountain pen is now being filled with Diamine fountain pen ink of the writer's blood colour. It's like a deep burgundy with a hint of red. Very nice indeed. And whilst the extra fine nib of the fountain pen is running smooth, the upturned writing nib is making my handwriting exquisitely beautiful to read, which in turn makes my writing even more beautiful to execute. I've also used the dredges of the additional funds to allow myself, at present, the 2 requested and suggested visits to Paris. It is indeed time to move on, as well as create a break in my writing style. I shall be looking at less personal trauma on the previous relationship front and instead focus on the good shit that lays ahead. So yes, Paris is going ahead. All things COVID permitting. Talking of COVID, there's talk of having to take tests before and after arrival in London and Paris. 1 more test before I go, 1 test before heading back, and then 2 more tests once I've actually arrived back. Quite possibly overkill, especially as hopefully I would have had both jabs by then. All this probably for the August trip. I'm guessing a December trip won't have as many requirements attached by then. And whilst on the topic of requirements, there is talk of a trip to Montmartre and the elusive, exclusive Moulin Rouge. This would have to be a part of the December visit, as the August shows are already sold out. And by sold out, I mean unavailable, as the Moulin Rouge will still be closed. But will the curfew be back by then? Will the vaccine rollout be enough to allow us non-EU visitors to venture out to an indoor public performance? August could well see a trip to the Louvre, as long as, again, the French rules permit such things. All I wish to do is have a Croque Madame and a Diablo-Mont in Opé Tranquille, and a quick trip down Rue Montorgueil. I've been down there previously, but this time I want to experience an expensive eclair. And I also want to take more photos. Each time I've visited, I've pretty much zoomed through in passing, and as I was either running late or I was not wanting to be late. Oh, and as the initially booked hotel is south of the Seine, I don't need a posh boutique or business hotel this time, I'll be taking a stroll through Ile Saint-Louis. Obviously, I'll be walking around the Ile de la Cité, but the lesser taken island is where I wish to capture some inspiration. The provisional December hotel will be placed more favourably for the Moulin Rouge, as well as a touristic Basilique de Sacré-Cœur. That said, I'd like to visit a few of the churches and pay a visit to the catacombs. That said, December is more for the book than the August research toward the Masters. I still want to do a Hemingway-esque Masters final piece, but I'm always open to change. To be honest, I suspect I've been using a handful of these entries and moulding them into what I need. The route that I took along this journey, which I believe is a theme covered in Chapter 8 of my studies in the 2nd year of my postgraduate degree. The French have very kindly allowed us British people to travel into France for any reason, regardless of prior requirements. This is absolutely fantastic news. It means I don't need to have my second home there, or even my first. I don't need to travel for work or a funeral. I can simply go to enhance my cultural pleasures and buy some more Atelier Cologne from their very first shop in Rue Sans Frontières. This will go nicely with the other colognes I've bought through them, both there and online, which is supplied through the exact same shop. But more of this in a later entry. Okay, so going into and out of France is permitted by the French, providing nobody has COVID. However, the UK government are still not allowing us out of the country at this time, except for the reasons mentioned above. Talk about teasing the baby with candy from the cook in a china barrel. As mentioned earlier, the Hemingway-esque final piece is still the current line of thought. Ever since I dug that little bit deeper into my own writing style and past, I've been drawn towards Hemingway more. Not in a huge fan sense, but more an inquisitive, almost attempting to replicate the basic outlines of his inspiration sense. However, this hasn't been fully written in stone. Although, I love the idea of sitting in Paris, typing away on my free white traveller, or chiselling my writer's blood ink onto paper from the fountain pen into my blue Ted Baker notebook. I did buy a copy of Men Without Women 2 days back. and for some unknown reason, inspired by somebody else's Instagram post, I have ordered, not 3 hours ago, a copy of An Englishman in Paris, 1803, the Journal of Bertie Greatide from 1953. I also purchased a copy of An Englishman in Paris, Notes and Recollections, 2-volume set. This is apparently a second edition publication from 1892. I got this reduced on eBay by making an offer. I do fear from experience that reading either of these shall provide me with even further aspects of Paris that I can entertain with visits, photographs and research. I've come a long way since my original thoughts of fountain pens for my final piece. My second book was originally going to be a non-fiction sequel. I then decided to go for a more fictitious ethical novel, but I didn't get further than 8 different starts. I settled on fountain pens and added a side step to include typewriters. That has obviously changed to Paris and my altering views on what I'm finding most exhilarating at the time. I may well start with Au Père Tranquille and end up with Hemingway, as per my personal journey. Creatively, I'm making nothing up and simply keeping a diary. Right now, I need to get back to recording my audiobook entries, otherwise the USB microphone purchase would simply be a waste.